I'm sorry, some problem here. With humble beginning with just 2 village cooperative societies and 247 liters of milk. And with the inspiration of leaders, the farmer leader, a professional and a technocrat, Amul grew from strength to strength. And with just this small volume of milk, today we are a giant handling more than 270 lakh liters of milk every day. Almost today's procurement is close to 320 lakh liters of milk per day, which is a huge, huge volume of milk collected from lakhs of farmers. But more importantly, it is a women empowerment model. So all the money that the consumers pay, more than 80% of that goes back to the farmers' accounts and largely to the accounts of the women who are currently running this enterprise in their own way. And this is what is the model which connects the producers with the consumers. Using a village cooperative society as the basic unit of our operations. All the villages of a particular district have a district milk processing union. All the districts in a state have a state marketing federation which directly reaches out to the customer. And this is the evolution of three-tier model which started with Gujarat, replicated across the length and breadth of the country under what is called the Operation Flood program, which made India the largest producer of milk in the world. And as I mentioned earlier, with a value of output of 10 lakh crore rupees, milk is the largest agricultural crop of India. And the value of output is more than wheat, paddy and oilseeds actually put together. And as you know, India is among the largest producers of these agricultural products. So this is what is the importance of dairy to our sector, our country. And this is a successful model because more than 80% share of the consumer's rupee goes back to the producer. As you know, this would be the highest ratio anywhere in the world. Producers in Europe, USA, Australia, New Zealand get only 1/3 share of the consumer spend for their milk. And this is what makes the consumers happy. This is what makes the producer in our country happy. And this is what leads to a growth of this. And as I mentioned earlier, the benefit of farmer is the heart of everything that we do. And this is what makes Amul a very unique model, and the strength of the cooperative model is demonstrated. And more importantly, the role of women in doing all this is highlighted, and it's become a symbol of women empowerment. And as you know, in the recently concluded G20 presidency under our Honorable Prime Minister, he said that we are not talking of just women's development. We are talking of women-led development. And what can be a better shining example than the Amul model which was highlighted there. And indeed, Amul was made a partner to W20 thing, and this is what we were able to demonstrate to the world, that if you are talking of a women-led development as a cooperative, working with villages in the farmers, this is what can be actually demonstrated, and the world actually stood up and took notice of it. Amul exists because of its customers, and the continuous value we need to give for our consumers will actually strengthen the brand, and this would make it grow from strength to strength. And this is where we say, okay, value for many because we deal with 3.6 million farmers, value for money because it's the customers. We are trying to make happy, give the best quality products at the most affordable prices. Now in business terms, and we have the chancellors of the SRM University, sir, in your course in business management, you will teach the students that you buy the raw material at the lowest possible price, sell the finished good at the highest possible price, and make the maximum profit for its owners or the shareholders or the promoters. We do exactly the opposite. We buy the raw material at the highest price because we are buying it from our owners. And consumers know Amul as a value for money brand, and we sell the products at the most affordable prices and not necessarily the highest price. So we have to work with very low margins, very low costs, very low overheads. And that's how we keep both the ends of the spectrum happy. And that's why Amul is a value for money brand and a value for money brand. And that's what it keeps it going for a period of time. But consumer needs are always evolving. And the brand has to keep pace with the changing times, changing tastes of the customer and changing moods of the customer. And that's why we were able to expand our portfolio. In 60s, the brand was looking very different, 70s, 80s, 2000, new products being added continuously, trying to keep up with the changing requirements of customers. Many times customers say what they want, many times it's unspoken. But still, we have to see that, we have to anticipate that and keep ourselves ready for all this. And so this is why it's been a continuously evolving portfolio of the changing needs of the customers. And I'll show in the subsequent slides, what all new things is happening, so that not only we are able to reach out to customer through a very extensive distribution network, reaching out to every single district of the country, every single taluka of the country, possibly every single village of the country, and connect them on a map so that you are able to digitally locate where the customer is. And more importantly, today's customer, if she is looking for e-commerce, how do you also do a direct to customer initiative? So this is where is the actual heart of operations of Amul, and the distribution muscle actually adds to strength of the brand and a long-term sustainability in growth. Then comes the role of the products and the communication, because end of the day, consumers want to listen to what the brand has to say, and in a cluttered environment, a brand has also to stand out. So we operate with more than 50 product categories, over 1,000 plus SKUs, a million retail outlets under the common brand of Amul, which is identifying itself as the taste of India. And this is where the taste actually comes in, the promise of quality comes in, and the brand, irrespective of whatever happens in the market or the market forces, it will no change in any taste, any recipe, any of the ingredient of the product, which would mean that the consumer can trust the brand blindly, knowing that whatever Amul has promised, it will give. It will not replace the milk fat with vegetable fat and still call it ice cream. So this is what is the promise of the brand, which is continuously trying to live up to. And milk itself is a beautiful ingredient, though very difficult to handle, because once milk is produced, it will spoil in just 4 hours. But here, if you are able to set up a system in each of the villages of the country, collect that milk, chill it right at the village, and process it into any of the 98 dairy plants into a variety of forms, you can see the magic of innovation will always be there. And that will be the delight to the customer, value addition for the farmer. And there are some of the products which I'll talk about, like the protein innovation they're doing, the probiotics we're doing, creating products like a carbonated drink with fruit and milk without any phosphoric acid is also the part of the magic of Amul. And this is some of our latest offerings in protein. We are the largest manufacturer of cheese and paneer in the world. So we have obviously a very large volume of whey available to us. And from that whey, if you are able to extract the best whey protein and sell it in a tasty format, and these are, believe me, the first time in the world innovations, a high protein lassi, a high protein buttermilk, sold in such a convenient packing at a very affordable price of just 25 rupees, giving 15 gram of whey protein. And this is what has been a winner product. We also launched India's first lactose-free whey protein concentrate, giving 25 gram of protein in 32 gram serving. So this is the message to the country that if we want to keep ourselves strong, we need to consume 1 gram of protein per kg of body weight every day. So if you are a vegetarian, it is very, very difficult to give at this number. And I would urge each one of you to do the maths, that if your weight is 60 kg, 70 kg, 50 kg, where did you get your 50 grams of protein yesterday from? And I'm sure we will all fail in that test. So this is where our answer to the protein deficiency of our country, to be Atmanirbhar in this vital sector, give employment to farmers, get the best protein, and more importantly, keep the nation happy. And another such innovation, and so these are few of the another products also coming in the pipeline. I will just use this to plug in the high protein yogurt, which will give 30 gram of protein, high protein paneer, high protein dahi, different types of high protein products like chocolates also, so that anything and everything you consume will be in high protein format. Next is the need for immunity, and post-COVID we all realized we all need to be strong, have a strong immunity. And what is a better form of immunity than probiotics? So we sell close to 30 lakh liters of buttermilk or chas in pouches every day at just 30 rupees. 3 months back, we converted this entire chas into probiotics. So the goodness of probiotic bacteria available at the same price to all our customers across the country. And I'm sure 6 months, 12 months, a year down the line, if anybody does the health survey of India, all the Amul buttermilk consumers will be definitely much healthier than before, and without even actually spending an extra rupee on getting that benefit. Same is the need for mithai, which is pure, without adulteration, and this is what is the range of offering of mithai. We sold more mithai than chocolate on the time of Diwali this year, which shows that ample potential which is available in the market to give good quality tasty mithai to the consumers across the length and breadth of the country. And this also has the opportunity to come in various forms. And same applies to distribution through Amul parlors, and we have about 10,000 such Amul parlors across the length and breadth of the country, including the railway stations, which Honorable Minister was talking about in the earlier session, which shows the impact of selling all the products under one roof. This is the new experience. of people wanting to consume the best flavor of ice cream in different parts of the world, all available under one roof. And we have many such ice lounges actually in the place where, in the country, where you will be able to savor the best experience of ice cream in different parts of the world. The umbrella branding strategy of Amul is actually unique. And this is why, because of it, we are able to spend less than 1% of our advertising budget onto advertising and brand building. Again, coming back to the objective of passing on the largest share of the consumer's rupee, this is what comes in very, very handy. And more importantly, while others in our space spend 5 to 12% of the turnover on advertising and brand building, here is a brand which is able to do it less than 1% of the turnover, and that makes it very, very unique, very, very different, and more importantly, very, very competitive, both for the benefit of the producer and the consumers. And again, at Amul, we believe that it's not just our job as an advertiser. If we are able to create content which is useful for the customer, it is actually more than the job done or what is the requirement. And you will know this, that Amul was the first producer of a film which was crowd-funded. The award-winning film Manthan was produced with a budget of 10 lakh rupees, and each of our 5 lakh farmers paid 2 rupees each to produce this film Manthan, which talks about the story of Amul, and this is what is a legendary thing. So consistency in strategy and execution, not changing what is not required to be changed, and more importantly, keeping on to the brand promise, the utterly butterly delicious Amul, or Amul Real Milk Real Ice Cream, Amul Doodh Pita Hai India, or the Amul Taste of India, all going strong for decades together, refreshing the communication only depending upon the changing times, but not changing the brand lines is what is the success mantra for it. And this is what any emerging marketeer also should understand and appreciate. So this is where we come in. If you are able to hit the sweet spot in between, the content, the context, the consistency, and the need of the customer. And this is where is all what we continuously work in. Try to be in the sweet spot in the center, which means your returns on investment in communication can be infinite, irrespective of whatever budgets you are going to spend on it. And what is a better example of that than the Amul topical? So this little girl, which started her journey way back in 1965, has helped the brand remain young and vibrant for more than 5 decades now. And this is what is the first Amul topical. The world came to know about the Amul girl. This is the first topical, and as we can see, the rest is history. And this is where is the communication and consistency in messages. This is an ad of this, it's about 70 years back. It says Amul in Gujarati, Maru mangam tu makhand mongu nathi, which means it's not very expensive, and it is very, very affordable. So same consistency and salience in message going across decades and building on the value for money proposition of the brand. Now, what is common between all these gentlemen and ladies? They're all a part of the Amul topical. And this is where the world looks at the topicals, knows about what's trending in the country. The Amul girl articulates this so well, and that's what becomes the voice of the nation. And before trending actually came on Twitter, or X as we call it today, the Amul topical was an index of trending on Twitter, and I'm happy to say that Arnab also has graced these topicals several times because of his great efforts in protecting the journalism values of our country. Sports associations are very necessary to keep the brand connect with the youth, and we've been doing that. The recent World Cup was an example in which we tied up with the teams which won the love of the nation and all the countries, and that would also keep the brand thing. Another thing which we want to talk about, and I talked about all the Indian messages like Amul Taste of India, or Amul Real Milk Real Ice Cream, or Amul Doodh Pita Hai India. But if the brand has an aspiration to go global, how do you connect to the people around the world? So we decided on a new theme, which is our latest youth campaign, which talks about connecting with the youth with the values which the world also cherishes. There are values, and the insight was that milk has certain values which everybody in the world holds dear. Like milk is honest, milk is pure, it blends in very well, it is comforting, it is refreshing, and it is a very, very authentic product. Now, this is where now we are urging the world to become more milk. How do you value these, cherish these values and imbibe into our day-to-day lives and be more milk? And this is what is the latest slogan. This is what is coming in communication, talking about various things like highlighting the importance of what the sportsmen have, the common traits, into each of these values. And you can see this coming up at interesting places around the world, be it the Times Square or any of these things across the country.